God's love, your weekly dose of God's power, your weekly dose of God's miracles. Everybody say, I need this.
I need this.
Tell someone beside you, you need this.
You need this.
Once a week, we need to gather just because we believe that God is here in our midst. I want you to proclaim with me, God is with me.
God is with me.
Put both hands over your chest and mean it with all your heart. Say, God is with me.
God is with me.
How many of you are going through some rough times in your life? You're going through some problems. You're going through some difficulties. Raise your hand. If you are, then say it with full conviction. God is with me.
God is with me.
You know, when I go through my trials, when I go through my problems, I just say it and proclaim it with faith. God is with me. And then, and you know, when I say it, something clicks in my heart. And I feel much better. I feel more confident. I feel that the stress is drained out from my system, because I know that the King of all kings, the Lord of all lords, the one who owns and creates all things, is with me. Amen? Say this other affirmation or proclamation. Say, I am always in God's presence.
I am always in God's presence.
You like that?
Yes.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you are always in the presence of God. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. May God speak to you from John chapter 15 verse 7. But if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything you want and it will be granted. Luke chapter 5 verse 16. Jesus would often go to some place where he could be alone and pray. Everybody say, pray. Everybody say, be alone and pray. And Matthew 6 verse 6 together. But when you pray, go away by yourself, shut the door behind you, and pray to your Father in private. Then your Father who sees everything will reward you. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Never stop praying. And Romans 12 verse 1. Take your everyday, ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work, and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. How many of you pray? Raise your hand. That's a silly question, Brother Bo. Everybody prays. How many of you pray every day? Raise your hand. We all do. Most of us do, right? You know, brothers and sisters, just want to share with you something. I'd like to, not talk about prayer first. I'd like to talk about marriage first. How many of you are married? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you want to get married? Raise your hand. Okay. I mean, why are you laughing? That's a nice prayer. Lord, make me get married one day. There are 3 ways by which I connect to my wife. How many? 3 ways. The first one is that I still date my wife. Every week, since the time I got married, I've had 509 dates. I count them. They're precious to me. I look forward to those dates. And I have 3 rules for dating your spouse. 3 rules. Number 1, it's got to be deliberate. Say that with me. You husband and wife, you can't say, okay, I'm gonna date my spouse. When? Oh, when we have time. It won't work. It really won't. Believe me, trust me, it won't happen. You can't say, yeah, I know, I agree, it's good to date my wife, it's good to date my husband. When? Sometime, when it'll come. No, it won't come. It's got to be deliberate. You've got to fix it. Everybody say, fix it. You've got to put in your schedule and say, every Monday night, or every Tuesday night, or every Saturday morning. I mean, I don't care what. You fix it. You say, this is the day I'm going to spend my time with my spouse. You got me? Not only should it be deliberate, number 2, it's got to be disciplined. Say discipline. I receive hundreds of invitations every month. People invite me to give talks, to go to other countries, different cities, and I made a decision that on the day I'm going to spend my date with my wife, it's sacred. And I say, unless it's the Republic of the Philippines president that calls me up and says, Bo, can I meet you? Otherwise I'd say no. If they're asking me, for an appointment or a talk or a meeting on my date night. You got what I'm saying? And number 3, it's got to be deep. Everybody say deep. Meaning to say, when you have a date with your spouse, let the conversation be deep. Let it be from the heart. Talk about what's happening, your emotions, what you're going through. My wife has magical powers. Ask me why. You know, when I share, I'm going through a rough time, and I'm going to share to her my problems. It's almost like she drains away my stress. She has magic powers. After talking with her and just sharing with her what I'm going through, the rough time I'm going through, I feel so wonderful. You got what I'm saying? It's got to be what? Deliberate. Number 2, discipline. What else? It's got to be deep. What again? Deliberate. Number 2, discipline. What's number 3? It's got to be deep. Amen? That's what I want to share with you. And why did I suddenly talk about my relationship? And why did I suddenly talk about dating? Because that's number 1. The first way I connect with my wife is I date with her once a week. It's a formal date. Many husbands and wives say, Bo, I don't need to go on a date with my wife. Why? I'm with her every day. Every morning I wake up and she's there. We have breakfast together. She's there. We have lunch, dinner. She's there. I always see her. Why have a date? Well, sometimes you need a formal date to actually get rid of the kids and get rid of, what's happening in politics and just focus on what's happening to you, what's happening to us. There is a need for a formal date. Here's number 2. The second way I connect with my spouse are what I call spontaneous connections. Everybody say that. When we're in traffic, I connect with her, in the car. When we're in the waiting room of a dentist, I connect with her in the heart. When a few days ago I came home from a meeting, and then in my mind, before going home, I told myself, I've got a lot of work to do. Articles to write, a book to finish, some meetings to plan. When I go home, I'll just go straight to work. But when I arrived home, there she was. The lovely woman of my life, sitting by the couch alone. The greatest girl in the galaxy was waiting alone in the couch. And my gosh, I would be totally, completely foolish and stupid to go to work when there was this lovely girl sitting by herself in the couch.
Thank you so much for your monthly tithes and love offering to Kerygma family, without which this broadcast won't be possible. We know that God will reward you abundantly for your generosity. God bless you.